Kurumjari. Dear learners, in this lesson, we turn our attention to state verbs, one of the three principal verb classes in the Manipuri language. As introduced in our earlier discussion on Manipuri verb classification, state verbs encode static situations, that is, they denote conditions or properties that lack internal temporal progression and do not involve dynamic change. Rather than describing events or actions, they characterize a state of being that holds over time without inherent development. From a structural and semantic perspective, Manipuri state verbs may be systematically classified into three major groups based on their valency patterns, or more precisely, the argument structures they license within a clause. Group 1. State verbs that select only a simple co-argument, namely a theme. Group 2. State verbs that require both a theme and a locative argument, the latter serving as the reference point relevant to which the state is constituted. Group 3. State verbs that take a nominalized clause as one of their arguments, thereby embedding prepositional content within the predicate structure. Let's begin with Group 1 state verbs, which represent the most elementary structural configuration. These verbs occur with a single argument, the theme, which remains unmarked for case. Semantically, such verbs predominantly express inherent or perceptual qualities, and in translation, they often correspond to adjectival predicates in English. Thus, they function to attribute a property to the referent denoted by the theme. Typical examples of Group 1 verbal roots include ing, be cold, mu, be black, ngô, be white, lu, be deep, thum, be sweet, ho, be loud, no, be fresh, and pick, be small. Consider the illustrative construction shown on the screen. Ising ashi ingi. This water is cold. Kobi ashi nowi. This cabbage is fresh. Pi adu ngowi. That cloth is white. In each of these examples, the noun phrases ising ashi this water, kobi ashi this cabbage, and fi adu that cloth serve as the theme arguments and are not marked for case. The predicates ing, no, and ngô encode stative properties and function analogously to adjectives, attributing qualities to their respective themes. It is also important to note that the addition of declarative markers transforms these predicate structures into full prepositional statements, thereby anchoring the described state within a communicative context. In essence, Group 1 state verbs in Manipuri exemplify a structurally minimal yet semantically rich pattern where a single unmarked theme argument is characterized through a stative predicate, reflecting the language's elegant alignment between form and meaning. We now proceed to group 2 state verbs, which display a more complex valency pattern by selecting two arguments, namely a theme and a secondary argument. These verbs encode relational states that require an additional participant to saturate their semantic structure. Semantically, two configurations can be identified. First, there are spatial relations between a theme and a locative argument. The theme remains unmarked for case, while the locative or ablative mark constituent provides the spatial reference point. Second, there are relational states involving a theme and where the beneficiary is typically marked through genitive-based morphology. Consider the following examples. Upaldu yumlomda naki. The tree is near towards the house. Yumdu lambidudagi lapi. That house is far from that road. In these constructions, the predicates nak meaning be near and la meaning before take theme arguments upaldu, that tree, and yumdu, that house, both unmarked for case. The expression yumlomda, toward the house, and lambi dudagi, from that road, function as locative arguments. The form yumlomda consists of yum, house, the elative marker long indicating toward, and the locative marker the, together establishing the spatial ground. Similarly, dagi marks an ablative relation indicating source. These locative elements are essential as they saturate the relational semantics of the predicate by anchoring the state to a reference point. A set of verbs belonging to this type include tha, far away, la, far, nak, near, pai, horizontal, and yung, vertical. Such predicates are inherently relational and require a locative argument for full interpretation. We now turn to beneficiary constructions. Sak asi aigidi okle. This rice is sufficient for me. Khao adu madugidamak sangi. That bag is needed for it. Here, the predicates ok meaning be sufficient and sang meaning be needed select a beneficiary in addition to the theme. The form aigidi consists of I, the genitive marker gi, and the topic marker di, yielding a topicalized beneficiary reading. The form Gida mark is a lexicalized complex historically derived from genitive gi, locative the, and emphatic muk, but synchronically functioning as a unified marker meaning for. In such construction, the beneficiary argument is indispensable as it completes the argument structure and saturates the semantic requirements of the predicate. A few verbs belonging to this type includes ok, sufficient, sang, need, ikai, ashamed of. In sum, Group 2 state verbs are characterized by a two-place argument structure in which a theme combines with either a locative or a beneficiary argument. These additional arguments are not peripheral, but structurally required, ensuring both syntactic well-formedness and semantic completeness. Finally, we turn to Group 3 state verbs, which are characterized by their ability to select a nominalized clause as one of their arguments. Throughout this course, you have repeatedly encountered the notion of a nominalizer, most prominently realized by the suffix "ba." When this suffix attaches to a verbal root, irrespective of its class, the resulting form is converted into a nominal expression bearing nominal features. Consequently, it can function syntactically as an argument of another predicate, such as state verb. State verbs in this group can be broadly divided into two types. The first type consists of verbs with an adverbial interpretation, which take either a nominalized clause or a derived nominal as their argument. The second type comprises verbs with a modal interpretation, which select both a theme, arguments, and a nominalized clause denoting an event. Let's consider the first type. Let's take some examples as shown on the screen. Mahakna saba tapi. His eating is slow. Mahaki kusa tapi. His way of eating is slow. Ghari asi tapi. The clock is slow in running. In the sentence, Mahakna saba tapi, his eating is slow, the expression Mahakna saba is a nominalized clause, where the verb saba, eat, is suffixed by the nominalizer ba. This clause retains verbal properties, including the nominative marking on the actor, and functions as a theme argument of the state predicate tapi, be slow. The state verb attributes the property of slowness to the entire event of eating. In contrast, in Mahaki kucha tapi, his way of eating is slow, the expression Mahaki kucha is a derived nominal construction. Here, the prefix ku functions as a nominalizer that derives a more lexicalized nominal, meaning way or manner of eating or doing. The actor is marked with genitive case, and the resulting nominal lacks verbal inflectional properties, although it still denotes an implicit event. Thus, while both constructions refer to an event of eating, the former is clausal and retains verbal structure, whereas the latter is more nominal in nature. A similar pattern is observed in Ghari asi tapi. This clock is slow. In running, where the noun Ghari, clock, serves as a theme, the event of running is not overtly expressed but is implicitly inferred through the semantics of the state predicate. In all such cases, the state verb contributes an adverbial interpretation, effectively modifying an event. He eats slowly, the clock runs slowly, and so on. This class includes verbs such as tab, slow, ngan, early, mon, very slow, thang, late, yang, fast, nang, eat, in time, thu, quick, toi, frequent, kon, last, chum, correct, and lai, easy. These predicates systematically encode properties of events, either overtly expressed or contextually inferred. Turning to the second type, verbs with modal meaning, we observe a different argument structure. Aihak satpa hai. I can walk. That means I know how to walk. Mahak lairik hai. He is educated. Mahak hai. He is skillful. In Aihak satpa hai, I can walk. The pronoun Aihak, I, functions as the theme, while satpa, going, is a nominalized clause denoting the relevant event. The state verb hai, be skill, attributes a capability to the theme with respect to this event, yielding a model interpretation of ability. In Mahak Larik Hai, he is educated. The noun Lyric book replaces the nominalized clause but continues to represent the underlying event domain, namely engagement with learning. The combination Lyric Hai yields a lexicalized meaning akin to educated, suggesting a process of nominal incorporation or semantic compaction. The subject Mahak remains the theme characterized by the property. Finally, in Mahak Hai, he is skillful. The verb Hai appears with only a theme argument. Here, the event parameter is entirely implicit and the predicate denotes a general disposition or competence without reference to a specific activity. In conclusion, Group 3 state verbs demonstrates how Manipuri systematically encodes event-oriented properties through nominalization, whether through clausal nominalization with ba or derived nominals with prefixes like who. These constructions allow events to function as arguments, enabling both adverbial modification and model interpretation. This highlights the central role of nominalization in linking event structure with argument realization in the language. In sum, the three groups of state verbs in Manipuri reflect a coherent and nuanced system in which structural variation aligned closely with semantic depth. Starting from the simplicity of single argument predicates in Group 1 through the relational configurations of Group 2 to the richly embedded nominalization-driven structure of Group 3, state verbs illustrate how the language encodes both static properties and event-related interpretations with remarkable precision. This progression highlights how Manipuri skillfully extends the notion of state beyond static description, allowing it to encompass spatial relations, participant roles, adverbs, and even model and event-oriented interpretation. They are learners. While these patterns demonstrate the elegance of Manipuri's valency pattern, ultimately, state verbs offer a compelling window into the language's ability to unify simplicity and complexity within a single elegant grammatical framework. With this, we conclude today's discussion. Thank you for your kind attention. May you continue to explore the Manipuri language with growing curiosity and find enduring joy in its depth, grace, and expressive beauty. Thagatchari.